Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2021. It's career mode. We're on episode 14. It's a one-day classic. It's a minor race. I was hoping to get a more Continental feel and see how we actually compare on a punchy finish against similar riders. Unfortunately, there's 7 World Tour teams and a number of Continental Pro teams, and so once again, we're going to find ourselves in a position where we'll be lucky to see a top 10 finish at all. You can see Mugisha's already done as we approach. Still 40k to go in this one, and plenty of undulation as we're going to hit this hill again. You can see there's the 1 kilometer to go, and Phytosa, you are protecting Debase. Debase is dropping back. We need to get him up the road a little bit. You can see the run in on the finish. It's pretty steep through there. You come out of this right-hander, and it does level off to the finish for that last 200-300 meters, but Debase struggling to keep up as he's base is a 65 mountain. He's got that +4 today, but with the hills, we've got minor hopes on him. Both of my pure climbers, Mugisha and Phytosa, are the ones with the ugly, nasty race day conditions, as they've got -3, -2 between the pair of them. So everybody else is looking pretty good on this race. We'll see how we fare, but we still have a handful of climbs to get through. You can see Debase is now returning into position. Galvez isn't going to last a lot longer. He's the only weak one that we really brought in terms of not much mountain or hills, but he's got some resistance, and he has fared well so far, protecting some guys. But we're gonna have to start definitely speeding up. These World Tour guys pushing tempo a lot more than what we can muster at the moment.
There's an attack in the group at the front.
Down to 98 in the Peloton. There was 2 breakaways. The secondary one never did make contact with the first one, and they have been caught. Now the first one is beginning to break up. As we've gone over the top of that one, we now have 3 more laps before we then enter the final and finishing climb. So 4 times up in all remaining. Mugisha's already gone out the back. Looks like Phytosa's just about done here. Galvez has gone through his gel. He's got a little bit of energy left. I would imagine by this climb before the top, he's going to be out of energy. And Phytosa, there you go, doing the quick drop, going backward. Let's retool. We've got Galvez still protecting Mulebron, who is our leader. Debase, I'm guessing, is the one I need to now sacrifice for either Arroyo. Oh yeah, definitely Arroyo. Been holding near the front the best, and Raylanu, I think, is about to take over. Where is Galvez? Yeah, Galvez is definitely dropping back, so Raylanu, take over. Thank you. And we're into our final 4. Let's set Galvez to auto. He'll fall back. There's our last 4 guys. 3 laps to go, and we're just getting back into position. And Arroyo,
he seemed to have neither the energy nor the courage to keep going.
Hit the brakes, it almost looks like. Little acceleration, and he went backwards. All right, we've caught Mulebron, who himself needs to speed up. And that keeps our 4 guys now near the front with 2 laps left to go. Down to 98 riders, down to 4, down to 72 riders. Group's getting smaller. Still in survival mode until we get to that final climb. 12k. Debase not looking so great. Go ahead and use your gel. And we're going to have to really up tempo to make sure we keep place. Even though it's going to burn a lot of energy.
10 kilometers to the finish line.
Keeping up with these World Tour guys as they go through this next climb is probably going to be a bit of a challenge, I would imagine. Oh, Brenner, who was on the front. Van Hoek attacks. Cosnefroid attacks. Now we get the response. So halfway up the climb. All right. Everybody's right here. Everybody's in position. 6K to go. Now we prepare for that final run in. Kind of want to go with Mulebron. 75. He's got some sprint to him. It's more about the acceleration. They're both on 71. So you got to go with Arroyo, even though he is a little more tired. He's got a much better punch to him. Ray Lanu needs to gel right now. Database, get us moving. He's already on the front. That's good. And he's going to go 99 and begin our pursuit of those front guys who we've now made contact with. And he's coming right through, but where?
Thank goodness he looks fit to get back in the race.
Okay, gel now for Mulebron. And gel for Arroyo. Database gets us out front, and look at this. We are lined up for a run-in. Can we hang on? Can that race day condition of Arroyo be enough? 1.4, and we're into our final two guys. Mulebron leading it out. He's got to run his attack now, and then Arroyo to the finish. Can we get a top 10? He's out of red bar. He's out of red bar. He's in contention for a top 10. Right? It's going to be tight. I'm not sure he's going to do it. Dunbar for the win. Nealons, Barguil, Rodriguez, and Valverde was 7th. Gil Martin 10th. Arroyo 11th. So close. So close. Mulebron 14th. One spot off the top, beaten out by actually a couple of my favorite guys. Jorgensen, who seemed to always find on my American squads over the last couple of years, and then Gil Martin, my underdog fan. I like finding somebody, Continental Pro, not on the big team, that I could kind of rally behind in real life, and it's Gil Martin, who's one of my favorites in those regards. And yeah, he just nips us to the line for 10th. The run-up was good. That was as good of a lead out we could get. We were best placed. And then Mulebron and Arroyo just couldn't quite compare with, all those World Tour guys around them. They ran out of energy a little bit before the line, so they didn't quite match the sprint, the acceleration of everybody else around them, the punch of everybody else around them. We went at the same time everybody else went. I mean, we weren't in any sort of disadvantage. We didn't go too late. We didn't go too early. They're just better riders. It's okay. Then we join in on our very first trip to Paris-Roubaix. However, it's the youth version of the Paris-Roubaix. Great race. And of course, we have Galvez now. But Galvez, we're not targeting youth races. It's a youth race. It is what it is. And so we're not as worried about what happens with a youth race, which means it was not an objective in any tangible sort of way for Galvez, and therefore he's actually in between objectives and ultimately is capped at that 80% right now on his fitness levels. So he does come into today with a -1 with low level fitness. So he's got subtraction even to his cobble rating. His resistance are both hurting, and it's going to worsen our chances. But I still think we could be set for a fairly good result. We now have got just 3 riders left. I only have 5 riders here. It's a youth race, so only so many guys qualify. We still have a number of older riders on the squad that, that first year of signings have only just taken shape, and we've got some other guys that were involved in another race. So anyway, there's only so many here. Galvez, obviously the guy we ride for, though. Ravenko, surprisingly, is doing a little bit better than Faitosa, even though Faitosa has much better resistance and only 1 point worse than the cobble rating. But maybe the cobbles are taking its toll. We're down to just 39. The breakaway had a pretty sizable group, but they've already shattered. They've already split up. And as we hit the final 61K, it's time to get time to get water. Faitosa, we're going to go ahead and send him to do that. Ravenko seems to actually be a little bit better off. A little opposite to what I expected, but it is ultimately Galvez's day. He's going to have to ride solo in the end. He's got the ability to get through these cobbles without getting utterly destroyed and is one of the favorites. Though there is one mega favorite for the day who's already got a high cobble rating of like a 78 overall. So massively better than everybody else. And it would be awful for him and his team if he does not win today. But we could be in for a pretty good result. With the race day condition, you never know how much that's going to affect Galvez, but I would think Galvez is going to definitely still be around as he actually got split off there.
Yet another flat tire.
Slow this down. Ravenko's done. Phytosa is done. Just like that, we are down to a very, very select group. And Ravenko, or Galvez that is, kind of missed the split. We're going to have to look ahead and see where we're at on if that guy is up here. Serena is one of the favorites. There he is, Veltman. That's the front of the field now. So there's your front 5 riders. We're not far behind it, but we've got no cobbled sectors ahead of us. It looks like we're going to make contact, though, here briefly. And then there's your front 9.
Apparently, there's another puncture. The riders really should pay more attention to their choice of tires.
We've got to try to keep this thing away. Got quite a ways to go to the next one, though. I cannot be spending all of my energy and not having anybody else help. So we're going to just back off. And now it's at 20. Ravenko is here. Now he can do the relay. And let's just sit on. All right. He's just going to have to go full gas, whatever he can do without energy. And we're seeing attacks.
It looks like he'll have to abandon the race. An attack is
As
launched.
long as it's not Veltman or the other guy. Galvez, you can see how quickly he's recovering right now as we go to head into all these cobbled sectors ahead of us. As long as that guy gets less than a minute ahead, it's not going to be a big deal. He's already at 45 seconds out. Okay, somebody else is finally committing. Oh, Serena and Veltman are committing. Yeah, let them handle the work. Those are the other 2 favorites. Galvez, one of the only other ones with a decent cobble rating. And with those 2 guys working, they're not going to be at full strength. Going to go ahead and gel up for Ravenko. We're coming up on those cobbled sectors here fairly soon. I'm going to just have him protect Galvez because the action's going to start almost immediately. Okay, there you go. Go ahead, protect Galvez. Start moving forward. 3.5 star section. Not this one, but you can see that the damage in the legs of Ravenko immediate.
For position at the front.
Down to 10 seconds on that guy. I knew he wasn't going to get very far. Galvez has not been able to find a gap through. Now there's a gap, but he's not coming through. It's back together. 20 riders in the group. And now we see an acceleration. Galvez. Poor flat rating. Today. Serena, Veltman are there. We need to be in that, but Galvez has such a poor flat rating. This is going to be difficult for him to do too much on a day like this. His sprint is okay. We're not sprinting right now. 4.5 stars. This is your time to shine, buddy. Not even seeing a split. Nope, there's the first split. 14 riders now. See just how much damage that's done. Right into the next one. 5 stars. Gonna try to attack, split the field, get it down to a few guys, because that's our really only chance is on the cobbles. Down to 7.
There's another rider with a puncture. The sides of the road are not a tire's
down to
best
6.
Friend. A rider has just dropped out. No doubt he'd run out of gas.
Okay, now we back off and go for survival, now that those guys have been split off as we're going through this final cobbled sector. back to 7. Veltman and Serena are both here, but the cobbles aren't going to matter so much anymore. Try to see if somebody else is going to commit. We need to recover. We need to contest at the end. We've got that little bit of a sprint, so we might be able to beat somebody. Now we see an immediate attack from Homan. Now we'll see a response from the other favorites. Yeah, there you go. Now they'll commit to chase that down. Poised for a top 10. Last cobbled sector. Coming right into it right now. Only 2 stars. Kusinyev with the puncture. Glad it was not Galvez. That would not have been good timing for that. We have our gel, but we don't have much energy. We have an okay sprint that is certainly going to be capable of beating somebody. Veltman trying to attack, because that's what he's got left. Just don't have the energy. Galvez, this -1 is poor. Poor resistance. Just ran out so fast. Homan takes the win ahead of Serena. Veltman grabs 4th. It is a top 10. It's 9th, but would have hoped for better. But again, based on race day condition, based on low stamina resistance, just ran out so fast. I mean, Ravenko was right behind us, even though significantly worse on the cobble. I was hoping to really split the group through the cobbles, especially through that last group of sectors, and be down to Serena, Veltman, and I. And then 3-man group working together towards the end, all being low on energy, and then you just kind of go for the sprint in the final moments, and you've got a shot. And you're at least looking at a podium. But Serena and Veltman, neither one felt poised to attack, and Galvez, while we were able to split down to a small group, we weren't able to get it down to just 2 or 3. It was at like 7. But then the moment we come out of the cobble sectors, nobody willing to work. So what are your choices? You work, you sacrifice yourself to keep it a group of 7. Best case scenario, you finish 7th. Now ultimately we finished worse than that because the groups came back and we just didn't have the energy anyway. So we were damned if you do, damned if you don't on that matter. What we needed was that small group of elite cobble riders to emerge out of those cobble sectors, and it just didn't happen. We didn't have the select group, and so then we were stuck. And while we would have been capable to sprint, we just didn't have the stamina resistance to last long enough for that. It's okay. Top 10, not bad. And it's National Championships time, and we open with probably the only one I'll bother covering, potentially anyway. And we set off with Ray Lanu in a 2-man show. We got a 50-50 chance here, and Ray Lanu versus Berkovshi. And Berkovshi, time trial, 62. Resistance, 66. Ray Lanu, time trial, base, 62. Resistance, 63. So these guys are neck and neck. Berkovshi probably the slight favorite with the resistance part. Ray Lanu comes in with an objective and a fitness peak, giving him a base +3 on the expected race day condition. We end up with a +4, now giving us a 67 time trial and a 72 resistance. We'll try a 76 and see how that goes. There is a little bit of climbing to do. Ray Lanu, 73 today. Berkovshi, disadvantage there. So Ray Lanu actually might have been the slight favorite when you add in the climbing, as it's not totally flat. So we'll see how this goes. Ray Lanu, I'm still largely untested when it comes to the time trial here in PCM21 and the new format that it follows, including your red bar, your ability to be a little bit punchy. And you can see right now, in terms of yellow bar, we're doing okay there. In fact, he's got a little bit of spare energy. I think we could push slightly harder. Try a 77. We're going to come up on the first checkpoint. Berkovshi should be fairly close behind us. 5 seconds behind. 5 seconds behind. But we have that spare energy. We're going to be able to push a bit harder here. Set ourselves up for the second checkpoint. Let's see what riding a little bit harder is going to do for us as we move forward. See, we definitely still have some spare energy. Second checkpoint. Still waiting on Berkovshi. 20 seconds ahead. We've pushed 25 seconds to the good now as we approach the end. There is a little bit of climbing to do the rest of the way, so that spare energy, not bad. That was a quick little hill. Barely even punchy. 5K to go. Raylanu. No. That's a little too hard. There is a slight downhill here, but you've got to be ready for that final hill. And Raylanu onto it now. 1K to go. Approaching the line. And full gas. Cross the line. How's he going to be? How's it going to be? I'm guessing we've got this, but we'll see. 24 seconds to the good. Did it. Middle sector is where we really gained all of the time and then just held on to the end. Sweet. All right. Well, we come away with a national championship on that one. Not hotly contested, but how often are we going to see only two competitors and two competitors who are literally identical in the important attributes? Today is the day where we're going to claim a whole bunch of individual time trial championships, but most of them are going to be relatively irrelevant. They're not going to matter so much. We're going to be the only one, or we're going to be the only two, or there's only going to be one other competitor and there's a wide gap between them in terms of ability. So I don't suspect we'll see more. But the road championships, you never know. We might get some of those, but we also unfortunately have a road race going on at the same time. Hate when they do that. Absolutely hate when they do that. They should not be on the calendar at the same time. National championships should be the only thing on the calendar, in my opinion. Anyway, it's not. We're going to have to navigate around that. One way we're going to navigate around that is if we have two guys that are Rwandan, we'll send one. Send the other to the national championship. If we have somebody who already had their national championship a month and a half ago, we'll send them. That's one way to get around it. But that's not going to cover all of it. So there will be some sacrifices. There will be a missed opportunity or two, but we're definitely going to claim a lot of national championships. A lot of these guys will be riding their national colors for the next year, but we'll see how that goes. There may or may not be a race or two, like Aribe, Japan. We'll see if it's a favorable profile. Something worth checking out, but that'll happen next time. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.